When I think of Holy Grail whiskeys, I think of the greatest whiskeys in the world. Whiskeys that are not compromised in price or availability. These are bottles that are meant to be cracked in celebration. Bottles that take something that you're already celebrating and taking it to another level. So maybe you have something special coming up, or maybe you're just curious what us whiskey nerds have wet dreams about. So today we're going to be going over my top 5 Holy Grail whiskeys. This first bottle makes me salivate just thinking about it, and it is also extra special to me because it's the first whiskey I enjoyed after learning that I was gonna be a dad. That's right, a mini Thirsty Oak coming August 2024. This bottle was created by blending the finest barrels from the entire Sazerac arsenal. I'm talking BTAC out of Kentucky and the finest Canadian rye. Now there is no age statement or mash bill, but it does not matter. I can taste the love and commitment that was put into this bottle with every sip. In addition to my love for this bottle and everyone I've shared it with, there are many reputable review sites that have given this bottle a perfect 10 out of 10 score. Its perfect balance and complexity always leaves me coming back for more. And the best way for me to summarize it is a fall spiced cherry pie cobbler. So what bottle am I talking about? We're talking Mr. Sane. Retailing for about $250, this bottle is extremely limited and goes for about $1,400 on the secondary. If you ever see one at a reasonable price, which I understand is subjective, I definitely recommend picking it up. In addition to the incredible taste, the presentation is also nuts. I mean, look at this beautiful box, this sweet bottle shape, and it comes with a freaking book, The Little Acorns, that talks about how this whiskey was made and what it is a tribute to. And pretty freaking sweet. This next bottle is one that so many people are starting to look for, and it's actually the bottle that my dad grabbed off his shelf and we enjoyed together after I got engaged. A couple weeks later, I owned a bottle of my own. The rich plum and red berries defined this whiskey for me and had a flavor profile I have never experienced before. Now, every time a special guest visits my home lounge, I have to pour them a little bit of this whiskey to show them how amazing Irish whiskey can be. The bottle we're talking about is Redbreast 27. This bottle retails for about $500 to $700 depending on where it is. It actually used to be pretty much consistently around that $450, $500, but with the price hikes, they're now wanting $700. So if you have a store that's been holding on to old inventory, you might be able to score this at the old price. If you can justify spending this much on a bottle, it is absolutely worth the investment. This is an experience you will not get anywhere else, and the presentation is pretty darn beautiful. Comes with a sweet bottle and an amazing box, which actually has all those second-tier bottles sitting on top of it. So it is now practical instead of decorative for me. This next bottle takes us to Scotland, in a region that is rich with history and tradition. When I found this bottle, I wasn't even planning on buying it, but then my FOMO brain kicked in, and well, $600 later, I owned it. However, like any bottle this expensive, I hesitated to justify opening it until a few months later, I found a bar that had. Once I tasted it, I knew this is something that absolutely lived up to the hype. A couple days later, on a random Tuesday night, I cracked open this bottle. What was the celebration, you may ask? Well, it was another beautiful day on this earth, and I think that is something worth celebrating. So if you see Springbank 21 on the shelf, I highly recommend picking it up. This bottle is chocolate-covered toffee, salted caramel, a hint of red berries, and just a kiss of that amazing Campbelltown peat. It's rich, balanced, complex, and it beat all the other ones in a blind. Saw that video a couple weeks ago. If you already love Campbelltown whiskey, this should be your golden goose, unless you find the 25. And in that case, please send me a sample, because I have never had the 25 and I would love to try it. Moving on. This next one is for the bourbon lovers, the ones who love that intense caramel cherry sweetness with that rich, oily mouthfeel. This is one of the most popular annual releases, and it is released from the most popular distillery in Kentucky. In my opinion, this is the greatest bourbon I have ever had, and it has beat some heavy hitters in blinds with me, such as King of Kentucky and William LaRue Weller. This bottle retails for $100, but goes for about $800 to $1,000. The bottle we're talking about is George T. Stagg. You might notice this bottle is empty, and well, so is this one. You can tell the stats don't last long on my shelf. What I love about this bottle for any celebration is its rich, intense flavors. Doesn't matter what you eat with this. It doesn't matter if you smoke with this. George T. Stagg is gonna take the freaking lead, and it is gonna stag all over your taste buds, and you're gonna like it. So you already know this, but if you see a George T. Stagg for $100, buy it. And if you don't, buy it and send it to me. But if you have a special occasion coming up, it might be worth spending that secondary cash to get one of these bottles. Now, this last bottle I bought off of pure reputation alone. This distillery has done this annual limited release for the past 10 years, and the casks it is matured in are only known by one man. And that man is not me, but I am a man who bought this bottle and poured it down my taste buds, and I can say kudos to the man who did this. Real recognizes real. Anyway, I own last year's release, which is aged 29 years in Scotland. To summarize the taste, it is like a honey apple pie with this beautiful apricot undertone. The bottle I'm talking about is Bruichladdich Black Art. This bottle retails for about $500 to $700 and is a great choice for any Scotch lover who wants the Scotch without the peat. Now, I will even go as far as saying you don't have to love Scotch to love this bottle. I brought this bottle to a group event with 15 bourbon lovers, many of them not even liking Scotch at all, and they all got to try this beautiful whiskey, and every single one of them were impressed. So if you've got an important celebration coming up, I recommend checking out Black Art. Now, I bought all of these bottles off of reputation and a bit of marketing as well. Fortunately, every single one of these blew me away in the flavor department. However, it doesn't always turn out like this. So you might want to watch this video right here, which is about genius hacks that whiskey brands use to get your money in their pockets. And it doesn't always mean in exchange for good whiskey.